Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kira. If you're new, I am Island Socialist on Instagram and my blog is islandsocialist.com. First of all, a big shout out to all you moms out there. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing Mother's Day. Now, my mom lives on a totally different island. I live in Barbados and my mom lives with the rest of my family in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where I was born and raised. Now, I have not been home in over a year now. Obvious reasons, the global pandemic hit us hard. So it's been a while since I've gone home, but I still try to make gifts for my family, especially my mom, every now and then, and I will save them up until I get a chance to send them over or until one of us gets to do a visit. Now, like I said, I haven't been home for over a year, so I've been saving them to send over. I did send over some last year, I think it was. So I'm starting to save up some makes again for my mom. So I wanted to share with you guys what I'll be making for my mom for this Mother's Day, and also just some little tips and just a little chat about sewing for others, especially sewing gifts for others who are not close to you, who you can't measure yourself or you can't do fittings before the final four. Also, the Love Notions 40% off site-wide sale is still going strong. So during this video, I will be recommending patterns that I think are suitable to sew for others. Stay tuned. So first, let's talk about the measurements you need to sew for someone else, and I'm talking ladies here. So I think the four main measurements that are the most common that you really must have in order to sew for somebody else is the high bust, the full bust, the waist, and the hip. Those are your four essential measurements that you absolutely must have to sew for a lady in your life. Now, there are also some measurements that are really good to have that will be super helpful if you can get those. Now, a lot of the times I find that when you're sewing for others, they don't really know how to measure themselves. So maybe it's measurements that you would have taken the last time you saw them. But it's really good to have the bicep. It's also good to have the shoulder to apex measurements, as well as your waist length, and then just their general preference of length in terms of top, dress, skirt. If they want a knee length dress, where they would prefer it to hit. If they want a maxi length dress, how long they would like it to be, because we all have different preferences. I like my maxis to drag on the floor. My mom does not. We don't want her tripping and falling, so she prefers her maxis more ankle length as opposed to floor length. So those are the things that you have to keep in mind as well. So tip number one, the first tip I have is, especially for bottoms, you want to stick to something that has an elastic waist or something that is just pull on, especially if this is somebody you have not seen in a very long time or somebody who has weight fluctuation. A pull-on style or something with an elastic waist is going to be really good, because I find that with elastic waist especially, it can fit a size below as well as a size above, and that is the beauty of the way elastic stretches. And when I say pull-on style, I mean something with like a yoga waistband or knit waistband. So I have two examples of Love Notions patterns that are absolutely great to sew up to gift to someone else. The first one is the Allegro bottoms, and I picked this one especially for the skirt version. It can be a little bit tricky to sew pants for somebody else, especially if you haven't seen them in a long time and their weight or their body type has changed. I personally would stay away from pants unless it's a really loose silhouette. Now with the Allegros, I feel like you can get away because there's that elastic waist and it does have some ease in the pattern. It is kind of like a loose style, so I feel like if you use something like linen, you could get away with the pants. But I specifically picked the Allegros for the skirt version because this is what I'll be making my mom for Mother's Day. So this is the fabric I have picked out. It is a border print and I'm making the maxi length Allegro skirt. So this white bit is going to be to the bottom of the skirt, and then all the way up, going up to the waist, will be the darker black bit. So I picked this fabric because it's black and white, and I think that you'll be able to get a lot of wear out of this. This could wear with anything really, absolutely any color can go with this black and white. And I remember when I was growing up, one of my favorite styles to see on my mom was maxi skirts. I figured it would be nice to make her one. I'm not sure if she's even worn maxis in a while, because I only remember them from when I was a child growing up. I don't really remember her wearing much maxis like in my teenage years and stuff. So I'm going to be taking her back to those years with this fabric. This is actually a stretch cotton sateen. However, the stretch is going in the wrong direction. So the stretch is actually going vertically along the border instead of widthwise. And because of that, I didn't want to use a dress, because if I'm using stretch cotton sateen for a dress, I want the stretch to be going on the crosswise grain. So yeah, that's why I think this fabric especially would be perfect for the skirt, because that little tiny bit of stretch on the vertical is not going to affect anything in any way. I think I am going to omit the drawstring because my mom doesn't wear anything tucked in. She wears all of her tops outside, and I feel like with the drawstring it could look a little bit bunchy if you have a top over top of the skirt. So these are the kinds of things that you need to keep in mind when you're sewing for others as well, is try to think of their preferences and ask questions. Ask questions, try to figure out what the person would like best. The good thing about, even if I was to put a drawstring in this and then she decided she didn't want it, it does have elastic in the way, so she'll be able to just pull the drawstring out anyway. But I know that she would prefer it without the drawstring, so I'm just going to omit the drawstring. I am going to do the slits on the sides and the pockets and everything else though. The Allegro skirt comes in sizes 0 to 32. Well, the Allegro pattern on a whole comes in sizes 0 to 32, and of course you have your different pants options, and then you have your different skirt options as well. So the next pattern I wanted to mention is the Sybil skirt collection, the Sybil Illusion skirt collection. So these are all pull-on skirts. They are knit skirts, so all pull on, and I think especially the ones that are more swing style, more flared, the gold version, the pleated version, those that have a lot of ease, that is going to be super easy to whip up for somebody else. You just need your waist and hip measurement. They could just pull it on, there are no closures or anything. And again, because it's a knit skirt, especially if you use one of those more flared ones, then I think that could fit a size below as well as a size above, as long as the fabric has enough stretch. So the Sybil Illusion skirt collection has 7 different skirt styles. I think I have spoken about this skirt twice on my channel before, and I will go ahead and insert pictures of the 2 that I have made with 2. Is it 3? Wait, 4. I have actually made 4 Sybil skirts. I have made 2 pencil versions, 1 flared version, and then I did a Sybil and Labella Donna mashup using the pencil version. So I'm gonna have pictures of those all over the screen right now. And the Sybil Illusion comes in sizes extra small to 3X. So that is one of the patterns that is slated to be updated soon. And the Sybil Illusion skirt collection has 2 lengths, so you can make knee length or midi length. So again, like I said, it's good to know the length preferences of the person you're sewing for. And my mom is even shorter than I am, and I'm a shorty, so I would probably never be making anything midi length for her. So tip number 2 is that you could try to stick with a more flowy or loose fitting style. That way too much fitting is not required. Maybe something with just simple bust darts or even no darts, so it's just a simple silhouette that is easy to fit, kind of foolproof. A good one would be like a shift dress. So let's talk about the cadence pattern, because the cadence top and dress pattern is a shift style, and they're just simple bust darts, simple shift shape. It does have a center seam down the back, and it's finished with facing, so no closures or anything. So with the cadence, you can make the top version, you could also make the knee length dress, or you can make the maxi dress. There's also an optional drawstring waist. Of course, you have your different sleeve options, and then it does have vents on the side for the top length as well as the maxi length. The cadence comes in sizes extra small to 3X. Now, I actually have a cadence that I made for my mom, stored up waiting to send over. I should have brought that in this video. Why didn't I bring it in this video? Completely even forgot that I have that made up and waiting. So I made the top version for her. Of course, you have multiple sleeve options. One of the things I love about Love Notions patterns. But yeah, I really think you can't go wrong with a shift style shape. I think the only thing that there is to worry a little bit about would be the height of the darts, which is why I said it's really good to know the shoulder to apex measurements. That way you know if you need to lower or raise the darts. But generally you can get away with just a shift style top because it's not too fitted. The darts may not matter as much as a more fitted style. Another pattern I want to talk about is the harmony blouse. This is another very simple silhouette, very similar to the cadence. There actually is a blog post on the Love Notions blog comparing the harmony top to the cadence top, because it is a very frequently asked question, so I'm going to link that down below if you're trying to pick between the two patterns. But again, the harmony is meant for wovens. There is a center seam down the back. This one does have the little button and loop closure, and it is just the slightest bit of a high-low hem, with the back hem being just a little bit longer than the front hem. But again, it's just simple bust darts. It's not too fitted, and I definitely think this is a nice simple style that you could sew up for a friend or a relative. This next one is a no-brainer. It is the Rhapsody blouse and dress pattern. Super flowy. There are no bust darts. You don't have any bust darts to worry about because the gathering at the yoke takes care of the ease in the bust. The Rhapsody has a ton of ease. It is super loose fitting. You really don't have to do much fitting. And then if you choose one of the sleeve styles that you know for sure is going to fit the arm, so you want to choose something like Bishop or Flutter, something with a lot of ease, then you don't need to worry about the bicep measurements either. The Rhapsody, I think, would make a pretty nice gift. It's not as simple as the cadence and the harmony, so you could tell that you put a lot more effort into it, and I think it's just a nice universal style that it never goes outdated. So I highly recommend the Rhapsody for sewing gifts. Now, the Rhapsody pattern has 9 sleeve options to choose from, so maybe you can even send them a photo of the line drawing and let them pick which sleeve they want. I feel like there's something in there for everyone, and the Rhapsody comes in sizes extra small to 5X. And the final pattern I want to talk about in the line of being loose and being easy to fit is the Vivace Dolman. Please tell me I'm pronouncing that right. Vivace. The Vivace Dolman is really loose fitting as well. There are no darts, and the good thing is that you can make this in a woven or a knit, which means if you make this in a knit, it's going to be even more forgiving and you have less chance of messing up the sizing. Now, I find that Dolman sleeves always tend to have a little bit more ease than satin sleeves, so I really don't think you'll have to worry too much about the bicep, and there's so much ease in the waist and hips. I think you'll be fine with the Vivace Dolman. It comes in sizes extra small to 5X, and you can make a shirt, a tunic, or a dress. Again, no closures or anything. It's just a slip-on Dolman pattern. Really don't think you could go wrong with this one. This is one I definitely have on the list to make for my mom as well. Since we're on the topic of Dolman sleeves, that is my tip number 3. Dolman sleeves are your friend when you're sewing for others. Like I said, no sleeves to set in. You don't have to worry too much about the bicep because they generally have more ease than satin sleeves, especially because of where they hit on the arm. A lot of Dolman patterns don't have any darts either, and Dolman patterns are just generally a looser fit because if you go too fitted with a Dolman, you could have a lot of bunching in the arm side area because you don't have any satin sleeves. So most Dolman patterns tend to be a little bit on the looser side. So first we had the Vivace Dolman. Now let's talk about the Melody Dolman. Now a button up is a really nice gift to give someone. It looks like he put in a lot of effort, and it's just a nice classic gift that I think everybody would appreciate, and I think everyone wears a button up. So this is a nice simple button up shirt like you give somebody as a gift without having to struggle too much with your satin sleeves. This is a much simpler shirt pattern than your standard classic button up shirt. To me, this one is just a little bit more casual, and of course you have the option to do that cute little knot in the front as well, which also makes it versatile. So it's a woven dolman pattern with a shirt tail hem, so it has that nice classic shirt tail. It does have a camp style collar, and you have a nice little buttons with the option to tie the hem as well, and then you have that nice little cuff on the dolman sleeves. Really cute, absolutely amazing gift. Again, it is not the most fitted pattern in the world, so I think there's enough ease to get away with any slight fluctuations in weight, or if you're a little bit unsure. I think this is a good one to go for. Also with this melody dolman pattern, I feel like your fabric choices are endless. I've even seen some people use quilting cotton for this. That means you can go all out with your prints and colors and really pick a design that you know the person will love. Now there's also a fabulous knit dolman, which I think is probably one of my #1 picks when it comes to sewing gifts for others. This is the La Bella Donna pattern. It's one of my favorites from Love Notions. It is a top and a tunic pattern, but of course, you know me, I made a beach dress as well using this pattern. Comes in sizes extra small to 5X, and it is not your standard dolman pattern, and the reason why it is because there are multiple sleeve options as well as neckline options. With a pattern like the La Bella Donna, I feel like you could make all the different options. So I feel like, okay, so you give them the hooded one for Christmas, and then you give them maybe the 3/4 cuff one for Mother's Day. Like, you get where I'm going with this? There are so many options that if you nail the fit on this one, this could be a standard gift that you could change up all the time. It's a knit pattern, very forgiving, nice ease. You really don't have to worry too much about anything at all. It's a dolman, so I don't think you have to worry too much about the bicep. You have all the different sleeve options. This is another one of those patterns where I feel like there's a style there for everyone. You could even add side pockets into the tunic view. So La Bella Donna is also a pattern that can carry through all the seasons. So it's like no matter what time of year you're giving this person a gift, there's a style of La Bella Donna that you could choose to make. And going on from La Bella Donna is the perfect transition into tip #4, which is knit patterns are everything when it comes to sewing gifts for others. I already covered it. More forgiving. You just don't have to worry too much about measurements with knit patterns. If you're just a little bit off, it could probably cover one size down and one size up. One of my personal favorite knit patterns is the Tessa sheet dress. It is such a simple silhouette, but depending on your fabric choice, you could really dress it up. So you have the option of going casual or dressy. The Tessa sheet dress comes in sizes extra small to 3X. Now I know you're probably saying it could be a little bit fitted, so depending on the body type you're sewing for, this is the good part. The Tessa is mashable with the Sybil skirt collection. That means you can make a fit and flare dress using the Tessa sheet dress pattern, and remember, you have no closures or anything because it is a knit. It is just going to slip over the head. So you can add on like the pleated version and make a nice box pleated fit and flare dress. I think that would be a really nice gift. There is an optional yoke if you want to add some interest. It does also have a center seam down the back for shaping. You guys, I am actually sweating away my entire life right now. Woo. So I feel like if the Tessa is almost the knit version of the Cadence. So the Cadence is a shift dress style and the Tessa is a sheath dress style. The Cadence is woven and the Tessa is knit. So you can have your pick. And the Tessa does have two necklines as well. You can choose between the bateau neckline and the scoop neckline. When I was making a mock-up for the Tessa dress, when I was doing my side tie hack, I actually made two sizes. I made a large and the extra large, and I fit into both. One was just more fitted than the other one, and that brings me back to my point of the joy of sewing knit patterns for others. It's just more forgiving. You can go one size up, one size down. If you're unsure, I recommend going up one size, and because of the stretch in the fabric, it's still gonna fit. Even if you go down one size, it's probably still gonna fit. So it just depends on the preference. Like for my mom, I know she doesn't like things too fitted, so if it is that she's in between sizes, I would pick the bigger size, and I know she'll be happy with it, with just a little bit of extra ease. While we're talking about knit patterns, a t-shirt is a really good option to sew, and this is for like the entire family, any friend. I think everyone wears t-shirts. It's really simple and easy to make a t-shirt. I really don't think you can go wrong with a t-shirt. I picked 3 options from Love Notions to talk about. The first one is super obvious. It's a lingerie tee, and this is a pattern that you can get free if you join the Love Notions Facebook group. And this is actually a swing style tee, which makes it even easier to fit because you have ease in the waist and the hips. You can just pretty much ignore those measurements and then you can choose your sleeve option. There are also different necklines. So you have your round neck, you have your v-neck, you even have a cowl neck. The lingerie tee comes in sizes extra small to 5X. There's also a tunic version and a dress version, so endless options here with the LDT pattern. Not everybody likes a swing style tee though, so if you want a classic tee, Love Notions has just that pattern. It's called the classic tee. So this one is more of a semi-relaxed fit. So this is like your traditional t-shirt now. And again, you have your scoop, your crew, your v-neck, different sleeve options, and it comes in sizes extra small to 5X. And the final one I picked is a game day jersey, which is your not so basic t-shirt pattern. This one looks like you put in a little bit more effort and you can personalize it a little bit more. So this one you could possibly make in the person's favorite sports team colors. It is that sports style jersey, so it does have a little bit of fun and flair to it. And for the ladies version, there is a dress option as well, which is super cute. This pattern also comes in sizes extra small to 5X. So those are the 3 t-shirt patterns I think would make adorable gifts, and I think all 3 of them are super easy to make. The good thing about Love Notions patterns is that a majority of them are rated confident beginner. I think these t-shirts especially, this is a really good place to start if these are like your first sewing gifts ever that you're making to give someone. I think these t-shirts are a really good place to start. Next knit pattern I want to talk about is the Summer Basics tank and dress. Now I recently made the maxi version of the Summer Basics pattern. The Summer Basics pattern is so simple, you guys, and again I don't think there's much fitting required because it's a knit pattern, and especially because it's a tank pattern. There are no sleeves to set in or anything. The size is extra small to 5X. If it is that you are scared of making a dress version because of the empire waist, listen, the tank version, I feel like you could whip those up in multiples and batches to give out as gifts. I feel like if every single female owns tanks, they're essential, whether you wear them on their own or for layering purposes. Every woman owns a tank. And I don't know about you, but I collect tanks and camis in every color, especially for when I need them for layering. So I think the Summer Basics tank especially would make a really awesome gift, especially if you like batch sew some and have them in like different colors, stacked, and then you tie a nice ribbon around it. Perfect gift. The next knit pattern I want to talk about is the Rockford Raglan. Now, just like Domi Sleeves, Raglan sleeves are much easier to fit than satin sleeves. Like Domi Sleeves, with Raglan sleeves you don't have to worry too much about the shoulder width. The style is just a little bit more forgiving, especially the more swing style version. So this pattern has 4 views. 2 of them are more straight fit, so more fitted, and then the other 2 are swing style versions. One is a top and one is a tunic. So that swing style, very similar to the LDT, but it has Raglan sleeves. No brainer. This is a knockout. Can't go wrong with this pattern. Again, it comes in sizes extra small to 5X, and I forgot to mention that the majority of these patterns have a full bust option as well, which is why I said it's important to know the high bust and the full bust measurements if you're sewing for a lady. And the sleeve options are short, 3/4, and long. So this is another pattern I highly recommend if you're sewing for someone else. Still on knit tops, my next recommendation is the Forte Top and Dress. I recently posted a video on a Forte top, and I also posted one in the last sale as well. 2 different views. So the one that I just posted is view D, which has a v-neck and also a v-shape under here where it's like a baby doll style gathered. That is not the version I am really recommending to sew for others. I'm sure you can do it if you are close to the person and familiar with their measurements, but especially for somebody who is not around, I would recommend this version. This is view A that I have made here. Again, it's a baby doll style top, but it has a lot of ease. It's pretty much like a boxy baby doll style, so I really don't think you can go wrong with this one. It has a scoop neck. The back is pretty much identical to the front with the exception of the higher neck, and then you have different sleeve options as well. View C is another good one to try if you're making for someone, because that is like pretty much like a t-shirt shape, but then you have the neckline and the sleeve options of the Forte as well. I feel like with this one you could make a little bit more of a dressed up t-shirt, especially depending on your fabric choice. I think if you make View C with those little flouncy sleeves, that would be a really nice gift as well. And the Forte comes in sizes extra small to 5X. Tip number 5 is to go for layering pieces. We're talking sweaters, hoodies, cardigans, items of clothing that the size doesn't matter as much because it is intended to have a slightly oversized fit, or it will be okay if it has a slightly oversized fit. Cardigans and jackets especially, because they have a little bit more ease because they're intended for layering and they don't need to close at the front. So let's start with the Metro Blazer. The Metro Blazer could make a really special gift. It is a knit blazer, so you do have that little bit of wiggle room because it's made from a knit. Comes in sizes extra small to 5X, and this is a more involved mix. I feel like this is a really special gift. I think this would be so nice as like a congrats on your new job type of gift, especially if the person just scored an office job. What is literally running off me, guys? I'm so sorry if I'm looking like a hot sweaty mess. But yeah, the Metro Blazer will make a really nice gift. Maybe you have a teacher friend who is going back out to school after so long in the pandemic. This could be a really nice gift to say well wishes as you go back. I know a lot of us, our clothes can't fit anymore because we did the most during lockdown. So I think this could be a really nice gift for somebody who's going back out to work after the pandemic. Now I picked 2 cardigans, the boyfriend cardigan and the Canyon cardigan. The boyfriend cardigan was just updated to extra small to 5X. You have the thigh length version as well as the duster length version, and there are also different color options as well, including a hood, optional patch pockets, and it does have a drop shoulder, which again is super forgiving because you don't have to worry as much about the shoulder width. So the boyfriend cardigan makes a perfect gift. And then the other one I chose is the Canyon cardigan. The Canyon goes up to size 3X, so it goes from extra small to 3X, and the Canyon has different options as well. Now I recommend the waterfall or the one with the gathered bottom because that is a ton of ease that's built into that cardigan, and fitting will be super easy. I can fit into both the medium and size large of the Canyon cardigan. It just all depends on the look I'm going for. Now I never have to layer anything thick, so I'll probably just stick to the medium for myself. But if you're giving this gift to somebody who lives somewhere cold, then if you go up a size, it's going to be perfectly fine. It just means that they can layer chunky sweaters under it. Even the plain version without the gathers is an A-line shape as well, so I think this is a really good option if you are just a little bit unsure of the sizing. It has no closures, it doesn't need to close over, it's a cardigan, and you can do sleeves or you can do it in a vest version as well. So love these 2 cardigan options for gifts. Then under this same heading we have the family of pullovers: Constellation, the North Star, and the Navigator. So you have your ladies, your men's, and your kids. These are the perfect pullovers to whip up, especially at Christmas time. That is definitely something I see often in the sewing community. The ladies comes in sizes extra small to 5X, the men's comes in sizes extra small to 3X, and the kids version goes from 2T to 60. Now it's a half zip pullover. You have the banded hem option or the curved hem option. You also have a hooded option, and the family photos I've seen in these are so cute, especially when they're matching. So I highly recommend you outfit the entire family in pullovers at Christmas time. It is just the cutest thing, and they made perfect gifts. Lastly, on the sweaters, I've pulled the Slovan Sweater. The Slovan is almost like a t-shirt pattern with sweater options. So it's just a basic sweater, but it does have that cute yoke detail, and then you have the hooded option as well. You have banded option, you have kangaroo pockets, you have the curved hem, you have optional elbow patches. The Slovan goes from sizes extra small to 5X. It is a super versatile pattern. You can make tons of styles using the Slovan, and I think this is probably a fan favorite because I see Slovans posted in the Facebook group all the time, all year. This is just a classic sweater pattern. It's a knit, so again, it's pretty forgiving. It does have some ease. It is not too fitted either. If you have a cricut maker, or if you have really nice panels, I think that suits this Slovan really well. So like especially for Christmas, you can have a Christmas sweater and have your little cricket details on the front. So yeah, a very simple silhouette and super easy to whip up as a gift. Tip number 6 is to go for garments that you can wear at home. So if you're a little bit worried, thinking, well, what if I don't do so well? What if it doesn't fit the best? Go with something that the person will just rock around the house. Garments that are meant for home, especially sleepwear, are usually made with a lot of ease. They're made to be comfortable and cozy and usually very forgiving. I would definitely go for something like the Compose robe. Everybody could use a robe, and I think people who use robes go through them pretty often. A robe is a pretty classic gift, whether you've made it or not. I always see robes selling in little gift boxes, especially at Christmas time. So a robe is a really nice gift to give. And remember, the Compose robe is also available for kids, so it will make a really nice kids gift as well. The Compose comes in sizes extra small to 5X. There are 2 lengths. You have your knee length and your calf length, and of course you have that tie, which makes it adjustable. And you can actually use a woven to make the Compose robe as well, so you can make it in a nice lovely satin. There's a lot of ease in the Compose robe, especially in the sleeves. I could probably fit through like 3 different sizes of the Compose robe. So I think this is a really nice, well thought out, easy to make gift, and it's gonna look like you made a lot of effort. Like, people are always shocked when you say that you've made something like a robe. Like, I remember when I posted my Compose on Instagram, I got a ton of comments. Like, people were shocked that like you actually made a robe. Especially because I used a fleece blanket to sew mine. It looked completely store-bought. So I would say the Compose robe is probably like number 2 on my list of top patterns to sew for someone else. Then you can choose something like a sleep dress, like the one in the Tranquil Nightwear collection. Now, all of the patterns in this collection are made with ease because they're made to be comfy. They're made to wear at home. I personally would stay away from pants, but the pants do have a lot of ease as well, so you can make the pants, but I would go for something like the dress because that's really easy to whip up, and I really don't think you need a lot of fitting for a nightgown style. The Tranquil Nightwear collection comes in sizes extra small to 5X, and you do have that nice crossover detail, so you can personalize it with using contrast colors or contrast fabrics. It doesn't have to look completely basic. This is like an amped up nightgown. So a really nice gift to give someone. So that is it for my ideas in terms of gifting females sewing gifts. But what about the men? Let's talk about the men. Now, I think that men are way easier to sew for. It's kind of like sewing for a box. There's not much shaping and fitting that needs to be done. I think when you're sewing for a man, the main thing that you have to worry about is the chest size and probably like the shoulders and upper back, and then you obviously need your waist and hip measurements as well. And just like for females, it's good to know length, so it's good to know how long the shirt needs to be, because obviously some men are tall, some have a long torso, so that is something good to know. But if you don't know, just go by the standard measurements, and I think you will be fine. So for men, again, a simple t-shirt is always a good gift. Love Notions has the dark side. It's a t-shirt, a polo, and a Henley pattern. You could make any, you could make all. I've made the dark side for my husband already, and it's not too much of a fitted look. It's more of a boxy style polo that I made for him. I think this one should be a breeze to whip up for any man, really. And the dark side comes in sizes extra small to 4X. You can also make the little boys version, which is a driftwood, which is super cute. I have that one, waiting to make my nephew something cute for the next time I see him. You do have your different sleeve options, and like I said, you have your different neckline options. You have the crew neck, the polo with the placket, and also the Henley. Absolutely perfect gift to sew for a man. The next t-shirt style I picked is the game day jersey. I spoke about this one already in the women's. Same thing goes for the men. It is more of a boxy fit. It's a sports style t-shirt. Again, you can personalize it with their favorite team's colors. There are 2 neckline styles. You could choose round neck or v-neck. Definitely good to know preferences. I know that my father prefers... Wait. Is round neck or v-neck? See, I need to touch upon that. Because now I actually can't remember if he prefers round neck or v-neck. I think he prefers round neck t-shirts, but now I feel like if I could remember him slitting notches into the round neck, saying it's choking him. So now I'm thinking he actually prefers v-neck t-shirts. I need to find that out. And that is it. Those are all the patterns I picked just to give you some ideas, and also just to give you some little tips on sewing for others. I know it can be tricky because I have to do it all the time because I don't live on the same island as my family. So when I make them gifts, I'm kind of sewing blindly. Luckily, my mother knows how to take measurements properly for the most part, so I usually have her measure herself and measure my dad. But I hope that this was helpful in some way. I hope that you learned something and feel a little bit more confident making gifts for others, because it doesn't have to be difficult, it doesn't have to be scary. I think if you follow those 6 main tips that I gave, then you will be absolutely just fine. And another thing too is, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, I've learned that people just genuinely appreciate the fact that you made them something, and if one stitch is out of place, it's not going to bother them in the slightest. It's the thought that counts, and they're going to appreciate it anyway. And if you mess up the first time on sizing, you'll just know what to do for the next time, and you can improve. So if you want to grab any of these patterns, I will have my affiliate link in the description box below, so you can head over to the website and do your shopping by tomorrow, because the sale ends tomorrow, you guys. It is currently 40% off site-wide, absolutely no code needed. And tomorrow at the end of the sale, look out for the launch of the new ballad pattern. I know a lot of you have been waiting. We've been throwing hints on Instagram and in the Facebook group. I've been seeing a lot of comments, a lot of messages. Everybody wants to know when the ballad is coming. It is coming tomorrow, so hold tight. Of course, I will have a video showing mine because I was a lucky tester. So I am out, and I will see you guys in my next video tomorrow. Bye.